Hey y'all, so I got a whole word for somebody today. So we are going through quite a situation, right? We're leaving his dad from just being abusive, controlling, whatever. And so I promised my son we'll go to the park today. And it was kind of like a big deal. We haven't really been independent but for like a week, right? Really stop doing that. So, or at least don't throw it over here. So we've been independent for it's actually coming up on a week, but it's actually been just so much progress and things been falling through so well. But today we had a little incident where basically I had to report like discrimination. So to my caseworker, and it was actually because the hotel we're currently at, they were like basically like, since we're getting, stop throwing stuff at me, please. So basically because the hotel was kind of discriminating because basically we're getting government assistance, they were like wanting me to like help them clean and stuff. Thought I kind of like owed them something, and it was just like we were like definitely trying to take advantage because they knocked only the second day that we were there. And it was like the guy, it wasn't even his wife, and yeah, it was just real weird. And so, hey, stop throwing stuff at me, please. So, long story short, we tried to go to the domestic violence shelter, and I'm trying to tell the lady about the emotional abuse, right? Because she asked me what's been going on. And so I'm trying to explain, like, from 5 years ago, like, you know, the character and how this led up to such, and basically just the severity of the situation, and how, like, deceitful he was, and yeah, and basically, you know, that's what they're supposed to be there for. But turns out my caseworker listened better to me than this woman, because this woman literally just was so rude, literally cut me completely off and was like, but what is the actual problem? And so then I just saw, I'm like, okay, well, if you want to know, he broke my tooth, he left a scar on my back, cut my back open, like, if you really want to. And then at that point I'm getting frustrated, and then she has the nerve to ask me again, well, what was the emotional abuse? And the sad part is, you know, Worthless is the religion that does not help widows and orphans, right? So they founded America on believing in God, but now you have Native American women out here that are literally falling into the arms of terrible men. And I just want to give y'all a look, because first got to this park today, okay, it was real hot. I even took my jacket off. I even took my jacket off. We have like an hour left here. We have like 2 hours to be here. Yes, Gilly, I see him. Okay, so we have like an hour. So we got here and it was real cloudy. I'll insert a little clip. So I'll do this at the beginning so y'all been seeing this. And it was real cloudy behind us, overcast in the city, right? But looking ahead towards like Canada, where there's actually in reservations still some people that are like have actually preserved the tribe, preserved their language and everything. And like my family in South Dakota, they eventually moved from Canada, but we're like pushed to Canada probably, but in South Dakota, the reservation has just like, it's just real poor. My family is just so depressed out there, right? And so, long story short, I guess I seen like with my son's dad, like it seemed like he wanted to be genuine, right? But it's like, if this help is so good and this help is so genuine and it was help, then why is it that the Native Americans were pushed into little reservations? You know, if this land was given to y'all, then why does it seem like it was literally stolen? Because now look at the situation we're being pushed into. Thank God though that my caseworker is literally an angel, and she said she was taken to her supervisor. She said she was so sorry for the ignorance that I experienced. But you know, never judge what you're going into, okay? No matter how bad it looks, no matter how bad people may judge you, right? Never let that get to you, because they are not true people of God, right? Because you cannot hate your neighbor and claim that you love God, okay? And so when I met him, I seen that he was like, you know, it seemed like he was like so genuine and stuff, and that was what I thought. He was anointed, but he was really fraud. And so God's people only perish for lack of knowledge, right? as y'all can see, I'm literally soaked. Okay, we got caught in the rain here. As y'all see, it's beautiful out now. But you know, at first it was such an overcast, y'all. Even you couldn't see the mountain. Like, it was so smoggy, you couldn't see the mountain. Really, when the rain was coming, I literally couldn't see the mountain, and I was like, wow, that's weird. And then as soon as I realized, like, oh, that's rain, that's when we started to get soaked. So we just came under here, but look how beautiful it is now, y'all. It's so beautiful out. And you still see like a slight overcast, but I promise you it's much more beautiful. I'm cooled down now. Like, God knows what he's doing, right? So don't be selfish, right? Because when God is calling you, you never know how God can use you, right? I would have never, ever thought that me liking to stand up for my friends would have led up to this, you know? So this word is for somebody today that, you know, you was seeing the overcast and it was so discouraging, you know, and you got caught in that rain. And it was so crazy because the music that I was playing in it, literally as it starts to pour down, it's like, rain down on me. So I'm going to insert those little clips, but, you know, this is just, I'm just like, wowed. And honestly, you know, I'm going to put one of the clips in my vlog as well. Hey, be careful over here, knock that over. I'm going to put it in my vlog as well. He can act real, like, ignorant sometimes, and, you know, it's a lot of ignorance and consideration that he picked up on his dad that I be having to take him out of, because he tried to teach him to just be like Trump and everything, and child, that's not the way. So yeah, I went and you know, even I will insert the little screenshot of what I told my caseworker, because I'm just in shock, y'all. Like, I am in shock how crazy, you know, and the full circle moment, okay? The full circle moment. Because the thing is, you know, you're saying, oh, well, you know, we had a right to this, and, you know, we had a right to invade this space and everything, this and that. And, you know, they were acting crazy, and, you know, they were uncivilized and all this stuff. You know, look what it has really come to. And the funny part is that we ended up coming up here to, you know, up north, and, you know, they claim to be supportive of that type of stuff. And, you know, God will really bring you in the face. God will really bring you to confront certain things. You know, so never underestimate how God can use you. Because honestly, the recompense, like, yeah, supposedly Trump gave so much money to the Native Americans. I ain't seen none of that. Like, you know, and it's crazy. It's like, but you gotta stop. It's crazy because it's like you gotta be in the rest. And I told the lady, I was like, you know what? Like, this is probably why people would rather stay on the reservation depressed with holes in the roof, you know? And it's just like, it's crazy, y'all. It really is. You know, it's actually really crazy because my grandmother, my dad's mom, she was actually like, you know, she come from like an Amish root, and so she really would be upset with my mom because she's like, you know, you're not handling this the right way type stuff. But at the same time, you know, it's like my other grandmother, my Native American grandmother, was praying for me too, because like, you know, our hands were kind of tied. And so the crazy thing is that tomorrow is the day of my grandmother, my paternal grandmother's birthday, but it's also the day that my maternal grandmother passed away. And so, you know, and then my dad actually died on my maternal grandmother's birthday. So it is really crazy. And, you know, this was all from me. This is when I really realized that how powerful our words was, how real God was, when I was young, and my dad really kept me so sheltered. And so, you know, one day I was like, I've never been to a funeral. Like, that is so weird. Hey, can you not do that? Stop. I was just like, you know, that is so weird. Like, I've never been to a funeral. And that year, 7 people in my family died. My dad was the first one. My maternal grandmother, the second one. And then my paternal grandmother. Stop! She didn't end up passing until years after in 2016, because that was actually in 2010. Yelly? So, you know, it's crazy. It really is a full circle moment. Don't throw it over here, please. So, it's crazy because it really is a full circle moment, okay? You know, I feel like they were both praying in like true unity here, you know, because neither of those women can have a real family because of this, you know, this rival, this oppression. And so, you know, both of my grandmas, they were both dealing with so much. You know, they were, you know, my one grandma, she was extremely shy. My other grandma, she was extremely hostile. And so, you know, it's really crazy because, you know, it's really a full circle moment. You know, it all comes down to it. And I'm finally receiving justice. And actually on Saturday, God just told me I had like Tuesday. And so I go to count. And I'm like, Tuesday is the 18th. And so I'll have y'all know, when I first moved up here up north, God said he would remove the iniquity of this land in one day. And so actually before that, when I was at Mercy House last summer, when I had tried to leave, and God promised it would be a year, right? Until I got physically independent, because the past year was me, you know, spiritually getting independent, you know, spiritually waking up to the manipulation. But so when I was there at Mercy House, God said no late 28. And so the lady came and she was, you know, very oppressive, the one that worked there in the shelter, and, you know, gave me my check, but she was so hesitant. Stop! She was so hesitant, and, you know, but she came right at 28 on the dot. And so whenever a guy tells me the 1-8 instead of 2-8, I'm just like, what? Because it's really, you know, Eve is really the helper, okay? It's really not, you know, she's going to do that just because. It didn't really, you know, so yeah, it really didn't, you know, really didn't take Adam too. You know, Eve was really helping from the jump. And so another thing that I really see, you know, is Martha and Mary. And so, you know, me helping my mom, me reaching out to my mom is really significant as well, because my mom is also saved. And, you know, we both just, you know, she has this understanding now, like, you know, that, you know, maybe I wasn't, you know, maybe me telling her to stand up and, you know, stop being so, like, inferior, you know, maybe that was not out of hate, you know, all along. And so actually, you know, it's really crazy. But, you know, at first, even my caseworker, even she was kind of, like, underestimating my trauma. And so I kind of was like, you know, I kind of like gently let her know, and she very much took the message. And I think, wow, it was just a lot, because literally today things were just back to back to back. And so, you know, it's a lot, you know, a lot of stuff happened today. But, you know, in the darkness, in the valley of shadow of death, okay, I can surely say that God came to my rescue, okay? And I wouldn't even say that both sides were shadowed, right? And even when the rain came, it just, you know, it was just like washing, like a refreshing. Like, we got caught in the rain and stuff. And, you know, not too many people would be happy about that, but, you know, it was just a moment where it was just a laugh with God. And, you know, even when we came to this park, now I see a sparrow running across a fence or something, but when we came to the park, there was a crow. And the crow flew, and, you know, my tribe is actually Crow Creek Sioux tribe. Mom was showing me the crazy horse statue they're building. And, you know, all these things are kind of like symbolic of pride, right? We just got so pretty. It's coming out. Oh my goodness. Our yogurt. literally.